No spoilers ahead. I repeat, no spoilers ahead. Hey, welcome to the seventh episode. So, this episode falls under the category Counterculture, in which I'll be sharing a few words and my thoughts on uh, maybe a couple of fictions or non fictions which are not part of the mainstream industry. In search of a good movie suggestion, I went through your messages, and one message is interestingly a request to do an episode on acting. Somebody else asked me to do an English translation of something which I did for my Malayalam podcast channel. It's an episode based on depression in which I compared three Malayalam movies and portrayed the truths and myths about clinical depression. That's when it hit me. I actually know some work which falls under this category, and it can also share a few insights on clinical depression. Let's start with someone you all must have forgotten, Robin Williams. By the way, no spoilers ahead. I repeat, no spoilers ahead. I know some of you will end watching this video right now if I'm trying to talk about a non-fiction movie. But please trust Alfred Hitchcock. Please. It's on one of the best actors ever, Robin Williams. Robin Williams, Come Inside My Mind, is a non-fiction directed by Marina Zanovich. It's produced by HBO. Marina documented the life and works of comedian and one hell of an actor, Robin Williams, who killed himself in 2014 while he was making his audience laugh. And we got carried away with an empathy towards what he was emoting. He was actually masking his real emotions. Substance abuses, failed relationships, and a heart ailment, and even a brain disease. In terms of form, there's nothing new in this documentary. His life is narrated through clips of his television shows, movies, TV appearances, and old stand-up shows and interviews. Some of his old friends shared their memories and takes on Robin and even his death. On the red carpet for the premiere of this documentary at the TCL Chinese Theatre in Hollywood, David Steinberg, he is the executive producer of the documentary, he said that I think the problem is that pain is so deep seated, it doesn't reveal itself. The curtains closed on that part of the head, and I can't imagine. I have theories, but I'm not a doctor. I think everybody just got to be open, understanding, and encouraging to people who reveal who they are. What can we do? Listen to people. Find a copy and watch this movie, and let me know your thoughts below. It's worth it, trust me. Now, what about a movie starring Robin Williams, which is woven around depression? I believe you have watched his Dead Poet Society and Good Will Hunting at least. I'm sure, but what I'm going to say right now is about a movie which most of you haven't watched it. It's a satirical black comedy drama written by Bobcat Goldthwait. The title is World's Greatest Dad. It performed pathetically at box office. Maybe it's because it had a very limited theatrical release, and most importantly, the video on demand release happened before the theatrical release. So I'm not sure about it, but it tanked. I don't want to spoil the plot, but let me read out the logline. You will love this one. Trust me. When his son's body is found in a humiliating accident, a lonely high school teacher inadvertently attracts an overwhelming amount of community and media attention after covering up the truth with a phony suicide note. You liked it, right? The protagonist is depressed and he puts that in words, okay? Writes a fake suicide note for his son, which is more like a poetry because he has been suffering a lot for ages. So go watch it and just let me know whether you like the rest of it. I'm not going to explain it all. It has a very unique plot, and trust me, it's not a sad movie. If you watch it till end, you will smile for sure. It will open your eyes to be more compassionate to others. If I mention about accolades and fame, which one has, garnered after his death, which name pops up in your mind? An actor who died during the post production of a sequel which we were all waiting for. His portrayal as the antagonist is still one of the best ever. Heath Ledger. When you have some time to spare, watch all his movies. But most importantly, watch a non-fiction. I Am Heath Ledger. It's directed by Adrian Butenhays and Derek Murray. This one is also a very conventional non-fiction which narrates Heath Ledger's life through interviews with his family and relatives and friends. If you're an aspiring actor or a director who want to know how to deal with actors, you guys should watch these documentaries which I've mentioned. It's a gold mine about acting. And also, it lets you understand artists a lot, actors a lot, how we suffer inside and how we mask that underneath our enthusiasm to be creative. Back in 2007, Heath Ledger gave an interview to the New York Times. Ledger told to Zara Leal that his roles in I'm Not There 2007 and The Dark Knight 2008 had taken a toll on his ability to sleep. At the time of the interview, he told Leal that he had taken two Ambien pills, which means one couldn't fulfill his. There are a lot many film essays on Dark Knight, so I'm not gonna stress again that it is a must watch. But if you haven't watched it, please watch it. Otherwise, if you're someone who seeks a movie which has discovered its own form and structure, you should watch I Am Not There, which released in 2007. In the beginning, the movie cites a courtesy that the movie is inspired by the music and many lives of Bob Dylan. Many. Each phase of Bob Dylan's life is portrayed by a different renowned actors. So, in a very non-conventional narrative structure, we witnesses intercutting plots and subplots of 7 different Bob Dylan-inspired characters. Obviously, it has an ensemble cast, and Heath Ledger portrayed a character named Robbie Clark and his chaotic relationships. Purely inspired by Bob and Sarah Dylan's divorce and legal custodial battle for their children. Researching a man's life thoroughly and finding patterns and phases in his life, and then forming 7 different plots out of a life to create 7 different protagonists, and then intensely packing everything into one movie. That is something, okay, right? Is it making you crave to watch this movie? Please do it as soon as possible. Also, you will know how much Heath was devoting himself to the career while he was actually downward spiraling in his life. So each movie we feature today has a tinge of depression in it, and hence we cannot end this one without addressing the elephant in the room. And you all know the reason why I have mentioned this. Sushanth Singh Rajput's suicide. Do one thing, go check his Instagram page for last 6 months and just find clues of clinical depression. Can you do that? Actually, you'll fail. You'll find the profile of an actor who just craves for more knowledge in every field. His over enthusiasm to, stay involved in something. He or she can understand Sushanth and his clinical depression. But why was he depressed? If somebody is posing this question, then they don't know shit about clinical depression. Victims of clinical depressions are usually clueless why they are depressed actually. They even tend to worsen the situation, overthinking why they are getting depressed. It is like one would talk about oneself. Concentric circles, yeah. So over and over again they'll think the same, and it worsens the situation. Initially, the discussions which were happening on Sushanth was about woven around the depression and all, but then somebody pointed it towards a nepotism. Nepotism has to be addressed. Your voice against nepotism is apt to, but raise more voice against wrong attitude towards depression and its victims. Nepotism doesn't make someone depressed, but it can worsen the thoughts of a depressed victim. If he or she thinks that, yeah, everybody around is conspiring against me. You get it? And one more thing, sadness is not depression. People who are sad for some reason seek attention as if they are depressed. But if you know why you are sad, then you're not depressed. Yeah, please seek your friends and ask for support, but don't mention that you're depressed. Because nowadays teens tend to post every shitty stories mentioning that they are depressed as their statuses, though they are not depressed. This results in narrowing the border between the words sadness and depression. People who seek attention because they are sad might actually steal the chances of somebody who really needs an attention. Do you get me? When I joined the film school, in parallel, I kind of joined a correspondence course in psychology. Other than that, I'm not qualified to speak more about depression, but I can offer good friendship. I know people who are depressed and they count me as a good listener. If you're that feeble to, seek a new friend, I'm always here for you, okay? Contact me. There, I said it. So, to summarize this episode, I have introduced two non-fictions and two fictions. Make sure you watch them and let me know in the comments below, you know, or message me on Instagram as you do. By the way, with this episode, we have covered all the episode categories in one circle. We'll go back to the first category in my next episode. A month ago, I did a video on how to form original ideas, original screenplay ideas. So the next episode will be our next step towards a feature film screenplay. Like, subscribe, and share if you want to support this community, if you want to grow this community. Take care, stay safe, peace.